Long ago, in a quiet little village, lived a young tailor whose life was about to change in the most unexpected way. Every morning, the young tailor sat by his window, sewing clothes for the people of the village.
He was clever, hard-working, and very proud of his skill, though no one in the village imagined he would one day become famous.
Fresh plum jam. Sweet and delicious plum jam.
Hey! Jam Stellar! Come upstairs. I'd like some. Coming right up.
The tailor planned to enjoy a simple breakfast: fresh bread with sweet plum jam. This will be delicious! But the sweet smell of the jam soon attracted some very unwelcome guests. Hey! Go away! This is my food! Take that! Oh! When he lifted the cloth, he could hardly believe what he saw.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7!
7 flies in a single strike. The little tailor suddenly felt like the strongest man in the world. 7 in one blow. What an incredible feat! To remember his great victory, the tailor decided to sew a message onto a belt. The tailor admired his achievement. 7 in one blow. Surely a hero like him deserved a far greater destiny.
And so, armed with his new belt, the tailor felt ready for anything. Now everyone will know what I can do.
How could a man capable of such greatness remain in a tine workshop all his life? The world must hear about my bravery. And so the little tailor prepared himself for a great journey. A hero must always be ready for adventure. With his belt tied proudly around his waist, the little tailor stepped out into the world. Armed with quick wits and a very convincing belt, the tailor began his adventure, proving that cleverness often trumped strength.
Without knowing it, the little tailor had just begun a journey that would turn a simple misunderstanding into a legendary tale.
7 in one blow, the whole world will hear about me.
Soon the little tailor reached a deep forest, where unknown dangers often waited.
Our tailor bravely stepped into the woods.
What an enormous forest. I wonder what adventures await here.
But the forest was not empty. Watching from the mountain was a creature far larger than any man.
The kingdom's biggest threat was also its sleepiest. This giant preferred a good stretch to a good height.
The giant soon noticed a very small traveler walking bravely through the forest below.
Sometimes great heroes are not the strongest, but the cleverest.
Whoa! That must be the biggest man I've ever seen!
The giant was curious. What was such a tiny man doing wandering alone in the forest?
High in the mountains lived a fearsome giant. Hey, little man, what are you doing in my forest?
I'm traveling the world to prove my strength and courage.
The giant stared at the words on the tailor's belt and immediately imagined something terrifying.
To see how strong the tiny traveler really was, the giant decided to test him. Look at this! I can squeeze water from a rock!
But the little tailor was not frightened. Instead, he had a clever idea.
This will fool him.
And so the little tailor decided to demonstrate his incredible power.
That's nothing! Watch this! He squeezed water from a stone with one hand.
The giant had never seen anything like it, and began to wonder if the little traveler truly was stronger than he appeared.
Sometimes great heroes are not the strongest, but the cleverest.
7 in one blow.
Even after witnessing the strange display of strength, the giant still wanted to test the little traveler one more time.
Watch this, little man.
The giant decided to show his power by throwing a stone as high as he could.
Ha! Can you throw a stone higher than that?
But the little tailor had another clever trick hidden in my bag.
To help me with a little trick.
Sometimes, the smallest heroes have the biggest secrets.
That stone will never come down.
And with that clever trick, the brave little tailor continued his journey.
The giant had never seen such strength before, and now he began to fear the tiny traveler.
The giant, now both curious and cautious, decided to invite the little traveler to his home.
Little man, come up to my cave and spend the night with us.
Of course! I would be happy to visit.
But the cave belonged not to one giant, but to many.
The tailor confidently strode into the echoing cavern. The giants paused their feast, their massive leader.
The giants looked at the tiny visitor and quietly began to make a dangerous plan.
You may sleep there tonight.
Thank you.
But the clever tailor sensed something was not right.
Let's see what happens tonight.
The giant, confident in his strength, brought down the club with all his might, certain he had squashed the tiny tailor.
Believing the tiny visitor had been crushed, the giants soon returned to sleep. That was close. When morning arrived, the giants believed the little tailor had met his end.
What a good night of sleep. But when the giants opened their eyes, they saw something impossible. Sometimes great heroes are not the strongest, but the cleverest. He's alive! If the little man survived the giant's club, how powerful must he truly be? The tailor, proving that wit is mightier than muscle. Well, who's next?
Run!
After leaving the forest, the brave little tailor continued his journey until he reached a great and powerful kingdom.
And so the brave tailor arrived, his fame slightly misunderstood.
7 in one blow.
Let him pass quietly.
Soon the people began whispering about the stranger, who claimed to defeat 7 enemies with a single blow.
Sometimes great heroes are not the strongest, but the cleverest. Did you see that belt?
He must be a great warrior.
Before long, the story reached the ears of the king himself.
Your Majesty, a warrior has arrived in the city. A man who claims to defeat 7 with a single strike. For a long time, the kingdom had suffered from a terrible problem. 2 terrible giants live in that forest. They destroy farms and frighten my people. If this traveler truly possessed such strength, perhaps he could solve the kingdom's greatest problem. If you defeat the 2 giants that threaten my kingdom, I will reward you greatly. Your Majesty, that will be easy.
The next morning, the brave little tailor set out to find the 2 giants that had long terrorized the kingdom.
These must belong to the giants.
Before long, the tailor found the giants resting beneath the trees.
This is the perfect place. Sometimes great heroes are not the strongest, but the cleverest. The clever tailor had no intention of fighting the giants with strength. Hey! Why did you hit me? I didn't hit you! Now you did it again! You started it! No, you did! And so, without lifting more than a few stones, the clever tailor defeated both giants. Thus, the little tailor defeated the terrible giants that had long terrorized the kingdom. That should impress the king. Soon the little tailor returned to the kingdom with news of his success. Sometimes great heroes are not the strongest, but the cleverest.
Gohan, did you defeat the giants?
Of course!
Word of the tailor's victory quickly reached the king.
Your Majesty, the giants are gone. The traveler has defeated them.
But the king suddenly remembered the promise he had made.
And so the brave little tailor strode confidently into the castle. The giant slayer has returned.
Having bested the giants, the tailor stood ready to claim his reward.
You have done what no one else could. I will honor my promise. Long live the hero!
But the princess soon discovered that her new husband had a very unusual secret.
Bring me my needle. Hurry! I must finish sewing that jacket.
At that moment, the princess realized that her husband was not a great warrior, but only a simple tailor.
Meanwhile, the princess had made a troubling discovery.
Father, he is not a warrior at all.
He is only a tailor.
The king ordered his guards to arrest the tailor the next morning. But he defeated 7 with one blow. What if he defeats us too? And so the guards decided that capturing such a powerful hero was far too dangerous. And so the clever little tailor ruled the kingdom,
proving that wit can be stronger than brute strength.